Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our Paws on Netflix podcast.
Today we're covering the Netflix movie Rescued by Ruby, which is pretty new.
Yes, and this fun family movie stars Grant Gustin as a man who adopts a shelter dog in order to join the local canine unit. But Ruby ends up touching the hearts of everyone in town and the viewers as well.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click notification updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Yes, and be sure to follow us under Paws on Netflix, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. And feel free to share.
Yeah. So this movie actually came out pretty recently. Put a reminder for it. We saw Grant Gustin was in it, who we know from The Flash. And we said, okay, we gotta watch it.
Yes. And of course, he's the Flash in here too. He's a good guy. And he helps save the day.
Yes. Just with no superpowers.
Right.
That's really like the only difference that they got in here. And he has a family. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's still in law enforcement. He's in the forensic unit. And he wants to be in the canine unit. And he still has the same exact personality. Like he just changed his name.
And it's so funny because even within the movie, they reference Flash without saying Flash, but they reference, you want to be a superhero.
Right? It was like, wait a minute.
And the first time it was hilarious. But then they did it like 2 more times and it was like,
starting to lose.
Stopped at the first time because we were with you on the joke the first time.
Yeah, it started losing its effect. It's like, okay, we get it.
But besides that, it's really a very nice family movie. The character that he plays has self-confidence issues. And of course, by the end of the movie, he has learned to resolve them. But I like that they didn't do it immediately, that they let you see the conflict, what he's working through. And he's married, and his wife also helps him to work through it as well, which was nice to see, because usually, honestly, they're fighting in movies, they can't get along, they're cheating on each other, but it was really nice to see a movie where this wasn't happening, and there seems to be genuine love and friendship between the spouses, so it was nice.
Right. And then Ruby comes in, you kind of think it's going one way, but it doesn't. Like, it kind of veers close towards it, and then it doesn't. It really is a family movie. And no, they don't take out Ruby in the end or anything, because we've seen that trope way too much in these dog-centric movies where something happens to the owner or to the dog or both. So I'm glad they didn't go that route here, even though he's in this sort of line of work. Mm-hmm. And with Ruby, they really pull off a lot of good comedic scenes. At least it was a real dog and not a computerized one. They made it look realistic, so it brought extra joy. And the main thing about Ruby was that eventually she's a shelter dog, but the thing about her is that she's so wild that whenever a family or person comes to adopt her, a day or two later they come right back and put her back in the shelter because they can't handle it.
Yes.
And that becomes like the running thing. She would have like tons and tons of owners, and they wouldn't keep her for less than a week, and they bring her back so they can't do it, and then one of the ones that's running the shelter wants to take her but can't because their family has too many pets already. So when I'll say the Flash, might as well just call him that, the Flash comes along and takes her, they're surprised that he actually keeps her and is going through the work of training her and calming her down, because they were going to put her down because no one would take her, which seemed like a bit of an extreme one. It's like, is she the only dog there?
Right.
No, then you don't have to do that.
And I like how once he gets the dog, there seems to be a genuine likability between them. Not only just the characters, but of course the dog has been trained, but there still seems to be a rapport and a genuine fondness between he and I'm just going to say Collie, because that's what she looks like. And it's really sweet how not only in telling the story between the original story between the man and the dog, but within here you see a little story between Grant Gustin and
yeah.
the dog that is playing the role, they really seem to get along and they really seem to like each other.
Yes.
And that was really an interesting component of this movie because
Yes.
sometimes you can tell that the dog is trained and just on mark and just on point, but this time it wasn't like that. It just seemed like this dog really feels like she's at home and this is her family. It was really nice.
Right. And that's something we didn't bring up earlier, is that this actually is based off real events and how a man adopted this dog and his story. I'm sorry, well, I should say their story. And you actually end up seeing it at the end of the movie with the real life Ruby and her owner. They tell you in the beginning based off true events, but we didn't even know that until we watched the film because it wasn't really advertised as it just seemed like it was just a standard dog film. Mm-hmm. So it was great that they actually did a good service to these two when they made it. They didn't turn it into the same old generic dog movie. They didn't kill off one or the other or both. They didn't add any cruelty or anything to it. It really does stay family friendly. The worst it gets is that someone is pretty badly injured but doesn't get taken out. Yes. And his line of work is, understandably he does that in the police force, but it's kind of weird to put that into a forensic job in a G-rated movie. Yes. It's a little weird. I mean, I get it was The Flash. I understand, but it's like, I don't know, it's rated G, it's family. I don't think little kids should be knowing about that line of work yet.
But you can say they didn't show anything graphic. The only thing they showed was like something wrapped in a cloth.
That's it, yeah.
And that's it, so there was nothing graphic. And I don't think there was any blood from what I recall.
No, there was like 1% blood on his head and that was it. It wasn't like gory or anything.
Right. Another fun thing in here is Scott Wolf appears. Now, if you watched Party of Five as a kid or as an adult, and also if you were familiar with him as a voice actor, specifically in Voltron as what's her name's brother?
Shay's brother, yeah.
Shay's brother. Then he's in here, and it's so fun because he looks like a dad now. And at first he presents himself as this really grouchy commander, and you think you're not gonna like him, and you think he dislikes Grant's character, and but you end up finding out that he really just wants the best for him. He really wants him to show his full potential, or reach his full potential, and show the talents that he has, and just be the best ranger that he can be.
Like no one ever was.
Canine ranger. They look like Mounties. They got the
that's what I thought they were at first until
Jonipers.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were at first until they showed them like they're not in Canada. So, yeah, the entire film actually turned out to be very well made.
They're in Rhode Island.
They're in Rhode Island. Okay.
They're in Rhode Island.
And cinematography is actually pretty good. Nice music score. Everyone acted very well. And oh wait, there's one thing I mentioned for Scott Wolf is that they actually bring this one point in the movie that Grant Gustin's character has been trying out for the K9 unit like almost 10 times, and they have an age limit. He's almost at that limit. So if he doesn't pass this time, he'll never get in because he'll be past their requirement. And that's the whole reason he gets Ruby. They wanted a German Shepherd, but he got her, but it qualified him because they didn't have to specifically have one. For Scott Wolf's character, one thing that was hilarious to me was that he pointed out that he was kind of discriminated against because of his height, so he worked hard than anyone else to get into the force and be taken seriously, which when you hear it sounds fine, which sounds great, but then with two things kind of off about it. One is that he was almost discriminatory against this guy because he was almost at the age limit, so we're just gonna do the same thing, just in not your height, but your age. And then the whole time, I'm sorry, all I could think of was Hori.
Yeah. Except for Hori is charismatic.
But aside from that, it was very well made, and I don't think it's going to be something, unfortunately, that really gets a lot of traffic because they got a lot of dog movies coming out for some reason. Recently, they got this and Super Pups and a bunch of other dog-centric films. You don't know why, but we hope that more people check out this movie. They really want some wholesome family movies.
Definitely. If you haven't seen it, you really ought to hit Netflix It runs about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
about an hour
it's a pretty quick movie.
And if you're a Grant Gustin fans like we are, then you gotta give it a watch, and you gotta give it a like on Netflix as well.
Yes.
And if you have seen it, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you think it really was really close to his role on Flash? Do you wish he had done something a little grittier? Or do you hope like me that he stays doing the type of family productions and movies and TV that anyone can watch?
Right.
And just gives you something to feel good about.
Right.
And also that's more a slice of life.
Right. Just like when you watch anime.
Yes.
Oh, and if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos on your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes, and if this has been fun for you, be sure to like this video. We really appreciate you and your support.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Oscar Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.